Actually, sir, I think we prefer to go with the bizarre and risky. It's worked for us so far.
You're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
Welcome once again. You guys are on the comedy parenting train, and there are no stops for the next 15 minutes. So you're going to have to hang on for all you're worth. The topic of today's show is children dangling from chairlifts. And if you think that's not funny, well, I guess it's all just a matter of perspective, and we'll be right back.
Treesock Press sells the books that stay on your shelves. When you want books that your guests pick up and read and can't put down, make sure it's one of Treesock Press's comedy books. Get a copy of her new book, Dad, the Tooth Fairy Didn't Come, and your kids will want you to read it over and over and over until you pull what little hair you have left out. When you put your books out into the gutter, you'll feel complete guilt if it's a Treesock Press book. Get your Treesock Press book wherever lousy comedy books are sold. Treesock. It stays on your shelf.
Okay, Comedy Parenting Radio. I'm your host, Jerry Begley, and we're in the studio today, and we're talking about children dangling from chairlifts. And the reason we brought this subject up is because, well, I have been a kids ski instructor for a long, long time, and I've seen a lot of kids dangling from chairlifts in my days. Unfortunately, pretty much all of them have been in my own ski school class. And the first one that comes to mind was back in the Aspen area. I had a kid get off a chairlift, an old two-seater chair, and the sign at the top says, check for loose clothing and stuff caught in the chair. And this little kid didn't do that. He was about 7 or 8 years old, and he had his mittens off. It was a warm day, and his mitten had slid down the little crack on the right-hand side of the chair there where the little armrest is. And when he stood up and went to get off, his mitten was stuck, and he had the little mitten holders that went all the way through the sleeves. And so he was hanging from his mittens on the chairlift. In those days, that particular chair was about, 8 feet in the air. So we got a whole bunch of people over there, had to hold the kid up, and got a stick and push his mitten back up through there. But if you've ever seen little kids spinning around like a Christmas ornament from a chairlift, you have missed it. This is Comedy Parenting Radio. My name's Jerry. We're going to be back in just a minute with some more stories. Kids dangling from chairlifts.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting.
Location.
My backyard.
Oh, your backyard. Try telling a bear that.
I did, and this bear talked back.
Talking bear, that's rich.
No, wait, it was Smokey Bear.
Smokey?
Why didn't you say so?
I did say so.
Continue.
I was burning yard waste.
No, boy.
He told me to burn legally and responsibly, and to remember that if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
And as always, he's right.
You know, 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. That means 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented.
Yeah, I know that now.
Thanks to me.
Actually, thanks to Smokey.
As usual, the talking bear gets all the credit. Always burn responsibly and contact your local fire department for open burning regulations. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires can be prevented. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Okay, we're back in the studio talking about children dangling from chairlifts. My name's Jerry Begley. I'm your host here on Comedy Parenting Radio, and I I was a kids ski instructor in the Aspen area for many, many years. I've seen a lot of kids dangling. I had this one kid, it was a private lesson, and I had the one brother, and another rookie instructor had the second brother, and those kids were in their maybe 6 to 8 year old range. And we went to get on one of the older chairlifts back in the day, and in that particular chairlift, when you got on, if you had a heavy kid or a heavy person and a lightweight person, that chair would swing way up in the air when you got on, so it would kind of stall out and go up high. And you had to really hang on to that thing. Well, we were there getting on that, and all four of us, and I watched the other guys go ahead of me, and the instructor didn't really hang on to the kid at all, and the kid went to get on, and the chair went way up, went over the kid's back. The kid couldn't get onto the chair actually at all, and the chair came swinging forward. And in those days, we didn't even wear helmets, and so he just about got his melon thumped there by the chairlift. But they kept him from doing that. But anyway, he didn't make it on the chair. When it came my turn to get on the chair, I saw the same thing going to happen with my student. However, I thought, I got to hang on to this kid. So I hung on to him. When we came back in the afternoon, the smaller boy who didn't make it on the chairlift said to his dad, "Hey, Dad, I fell off the chairlift." Well, that's the last thing in the world any parent wants to hear is their kid saying that they fell off the chairlift. And so that instructor was fired from that particular job. They went and got another instructor right away. The next day, I was up with the older brother, and we went to get on that same chairlift where the younger brother had fallen off. And when it came time to get on, the chair was real sticky and the skis were sticky, and the chair went way up in the air, and the kids started to fall forward off of the chairlift. And I had this split-second decision in my head going, I am not going to lose this private ski lesson. And I grabbed the kid and I yanked him up with all my might, and I slammed him into the chair, and his head hit the back of the chair, but he didn't fall off. And that day, when we got back at the end of the lesson, the kid that I was with said, "Hey, my instructor saved me from falling off the chairlift." The dad was so glad. I had those kids many, many years. I ended up skiing with both of them, and one of them is now a soon-to-be famous movie producer. Had a lot of fun. Life takes a lot of twists and turns, and if you hang on with all your might, you just never know where you're going to end up.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time, and who can say...
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Okay, we're back here with Comedy Parenting Radio. My name's Jerry, and we are talking about children dangling from chairlifts. I've seen plenty of them in my day. But I think that the very worst that I ever saw was the first year I was a ski instructor. And first-year ski instructors, well, let's face it, you have to take the worst of the worst classes. And I had a locals class, local kids from the Aspen area, 6-year-olds, and we're over on the beginner area of Buttermilk Ski Area on a spot known as Panda Peak, a pretty small chairlift. I've got a bunch of little kids on a Saturday morning, and it's just complete mayhem everywhere. Kids all over the place, and you're trying to keep track of them and not lose them and whatnot as a ski instructor. And have the parents' fears that way, like, oh, yeah, we lost little Johnny sometime today. We don't know where he's at. Maybe he was attacked by weasels up in the woods or something like that. But anyway, I was over there with my group, and I like to go up last. That way I can kind of shepherd them along and herd them along and nip at their heels and keep them moving. And we're at the Panda Peak chairlift, and I'm looking around trying to see where everybody's at, and we're melding with the other classes. And suddenly, I hear somebody yelling, "Stop the lift! Stop the chairlift!" And I look, and there's my kid dangling from the chairlift in a way you're not going to believe.
I don't believe it. My savings are gone. They're gone.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're gone. They're gone.
Okay, all right. Think about it. Where did you have them last?
I remember I was home, then I took them, and then I spent them on that vacation to Aruba. Then I bought this miniature suit of armor I saw in the in-flight magazine.
And that's the last you saw of your savings?
Yes.
This is so weird.
I know, right?
Weird? Not really. Not saving now means no money later. You'd be surprised how quickly a little money from every paycheck can really add up. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
The armor is cool, though. Oops. I think I broke its gauntlet.
You broke my favorite part.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Comedy Parenting Radio. World-class comedy at a fraction of the cost.
Sure, humans can be a little weird at times, but take it from me, I'm a dog. And a person is about the best thing that can happen to a shelter pet. So if you want to learn how you can be that person, get down to your local pet shelter or visit theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Yeah, somebody was screaming, "Stop the chairlift, stop the chairlift." And I had that little kid dangling in a way that you just can't believe. The 6-year-old was on the chairlift by himself, which, by the way, was legal to do. You got to be 6 and older to ride on those chairs back then. Now it's 7. And he was all by himself, and he was hanging upside down by his feet from the chair. And if you can picture this, the chair has a back to it. Then there's a little bit of a gap, and then there's a flat spot where you sit, and then it has the armrests. And his body was hanging out the back of that little gap, and he was hanging upside down with his feet facing up to the sky, and the only thing keeping him from falling were his skis. His ski tips were sticking out over the back of the chair, over the back of the seat, and the tail end of his skis were down where your knees would be dangling. Fortunately, he was only about 15 feet in the air, and we all went running over there. I kicked my skis off, and everybody went running over, and somehow we got underneath him in case he fell. We could catch him, and we got people up higher and higher. I don't know if it was a human pyramid or what it was we did at the time, but we got people up higher, and somebody unhooked his skis as we grabbed him, and his little belly was exposed. His coat was hanging down over him, sort of like Skin the Cat. And you know what? We got him down safely, and 10 years later, I ran into that kid when he was 16 years old on the chairlift. I said to him, "Cody, the day you were hanging upside down by your feet, do you have the foggiest idea what ever happened?" And he said, to this day, I still don't know what happened. Well, you're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio. My name's Jerry. Thanks for tuning in today. And watch your kids on the chairlifts. They'll be fine, I'm sure. Just send them with a good instructor next time. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Comedy Parenting Radio.
I eat breakfast 300 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me, so don't think for 1 second that you can come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous.